This is a message for parents and guardians of my 8th grade math students. This is Mr. Miller from Clover Garden, and I wanted to show you something I'm going to be sending out by email. It's going to be links to a website I like to use called That Quiz. And this is not going to be an assignment for a grade. This is going to be practice that students can do if they have access to the internet somewhere away from school, at home or elsewhere. This will be practicing concepts that we've talked about during the year, something that the students don't have to do, they're not required to do. It's just something I'm making available to them. This website they've seen before. We've used it in the computer lab at school. An example of something they might be doing would be looking at this grid, this coordinate plane, where you see the line drawn on the on the plane, and the students have to figure out what the equation of this line is, what the slope and y-intercept are. And the y-intercept on this one would be 9, and it would be positive, and so the students would enter that, and then they would figure out that the slope is up 1 and over 2, so they would say that the slope is 1/2 x. They would click on that, and they would hit OK. They might have a question where they have to figure out where two lines intersect, and they would do that algebraically and enter the x and y value. And then they might also have to draw a graph where they're given the equation like 1/2 x minus 2. Well, you plot the points. So the -2 would be your y-intercept, and then the 1/2 slope would be up 1 over 2, and you would have that there. And so they might have to figure out, looking at an equation, what the x-intercept is. So those are the kind of questions they might have to answer. Also, right now we're discussing parallel lines, angles and triangles in geometry right now. And for instance, if you see a triangle and you're given two of the angles, the three angles of a triangle have to add up to 180 degrees. So this would be 50 plus 60. What is angle x? Well, 50 plus 60 is 110. Subtract that from 180, and you will get 70 degrees. Also, when you see two parallel lines like you see here, the angle x and 90 are going to be equal to each other. Also, when you see something like this, the angle here has to equal angle x, and angle 60, the 60 degrees, and this angle here have to add up to 180, which means this angle has to be 120, so x would have to be 120. And that's the kind of questions that the students are answering right now. These two angles here, x would have to be 120 because these two angles have to add up to, not 120, 100. These have to add up to 180. So questions like that. So this is just something that I'm going to be emailing out, and I was just wanting to let everybody know that that's going to be available.